Hello and welcome to the next DeWitte video. If you have seen my videos, you all know just how crazy and reckless he was. How little he cared about people and any damage he has done to them without losing a wink of sleep. He has always been involved in one scam or another, one relationship or another, one like covering up the lie before, and just a complete con artist and idiot. What he did to his wife, his girlfriends, his family, his employees, and even the very few friends he may have had is beyond belief and completely deplorable. He has continued to mock the law, the police, the court, by committing one offense after another, and then try to blame it on everyone and everything else. Never him. Everyone is out to get him. Every single person he has come in contact with is lying, not him. That attitude and mindset is what lead to him being right where he is at now, serving 10 years in total in prison. But what started it? Yes, the gas he stole is what started it, but that was not what carried through to almost each and every case since. It's the 2005 arrest and case that DeWitte was convicted of, which was the S.X. battery against an underage girl between 12 and 15 years old. YouTube guidelines request to not use the actual word. He has constantly refused to take accountability, change his story about it, blame her, blame the police, blame the family, blame the world, but not him. He did nothing wrong. He refused to follow the laws and rules that followed him because of that conviction. And he thought he was able to because the victim was a minor and her name was not released. He thought nobody would ever find anything to show it as true because court records were sealed. But he was wrong. The victim, now an adult, has decided enough is enough and she is going to tell the truth. No names will be given, but here you can listen to her yourselves as she tells her story, as she tells the truth. Please be respectful with any comments. This is a sensitive subject and one that completely changes a person's life when it happens to them. I am only putting this up because the victim spoke out and I believe she should be heard. Listen carefully so you don't miss anything.
It was also because of the fact they knew who I was and the fact that I owned the business. And
So what's their problem with you? You say they
detective. You know I'm a sex offender. See, there's this continuing pattern where people find out that I'm a sex offender, and then they make false statements against me. And then for some reason, I'm trying to save my life. Just kind of like this situation where this.
He would come around, pick us up for lunch. At that time, he betrayed, like he just came out the army or whatever. Long story short, he ended up, me and my cousins and my cousin's wife, and he ended up moving into the apartment. I noticed, I was young. So, certain things you don't notice as you get old. Like, oh, shoot, that's that. I noticed that he's coming around a lot. He's coming around, hey, so my cousin's like, hey, Jeremy's going to come by, or this is the man, or Jeremy's there, or Jeremy's going to take back to the movies, you guys need a ride, or oh, we're going to go over here real quick. It was always things to her and him, that she always brought him around. So it got to the point that I guess, and when we were in the apartments, we had 1, 2, 3, a 4-bedroom apartment. And there was a fourth room that was empty. And as my cousin needed help paying the rent or whatever, so he went and my cousin's ex-wife asked him and his brother to move in to rent the room from us. Both of them were staying in the apartment with us. If you're looking down the hall, my room was straight down the hall, right? The first 3 feet to your left. If you were to go back 3 feet, my cousin's, his room was right there. And across from his room, closer to my room, on the opposite side, was Jeremy's room and his brother's room. Me and were young. So we ended up doing something really stupid in the mall, and we got caught. So our punishment for getting in trouble the way we did was PT. PT, physical training, was actually done by Jeremy. So me at 15, I had hair down to my butt. Jeremy moved into your room. So that's what I was saying. So they cut my hair. We ended up being dressed because he chose it. We were dressed in khaki pants, white shirt, white sneakers, tailor sneakers. But we had to wear to school, high school at that, every single day. Sure, but hold you didn't think
High school didn't have uniforms. Our high school didn't have uniforms.
We were both sophomores, high school, first sophomore year. And we were going to school like that. Now, every morning, PT, he would do the PT at 5 o'clock in the morning, physical training, lunges, squats, outside in the apartment, quack like a dog. He humiliated things. He ate bologna. He ate the worst of the food, the cheapest macaroni and cheese. We used to have to ride the back of his truck. We weren't allowed to ride in his seat, but because he was in charge of the punishment, he had to ride in the back of his Jeep that he had at the time. We would steal whatever food we can and eat it back there because, we were limited because of our punishment. We couldn't have the good stuff. When it came to the room situation, they took the door off my room. They took everything out of my door was taken off. They took everything out of the room. They took all his pictures down and stuff, and they left his door there. And I ended up having to sleep with my cousin because, he went and took over my room afterwards. Now, I don't know what happened when it came down to. We hung out a lot. We did hang out throughout the time. He pick me up to go take it to my cousin. Like I said, he was very more into it than into being living with us than it was what he just said. And it got to the point he used to tell me, he's like, oh, maybe if you lose a little bit of weight and you get a little bit older because you're only 15 and I think I could be with you. Like, it was one of those things. It was already things being thrown in my head in our unknown car ride because we used to be in the car ride alone. And the first time anything ever happened was when I was feeling bad. I wasn't with my mom. My mom was in New York. I was separated. It was a lot. I was going through a lot. And he got to the point to where he's like, oh, kiss me, or this or that. And by the apartment or like around the area, it would start off like that. So I was like, whatever. I was trying to, because I knew it was wrong. Regardless, 15, I was like, oh my God, like, what do I do? I don't know what to do. My cousin's wife was trying. Like, what do I do? They're not going to believe me. So it was like that for a while. Now, the day everything happened, we were drinking our Smirnoff, I remember it was, and I don't know how it happened. I don't know how it got to that point, how it got there. All I know is sex was involved. It was not consensual because I did not, like I said, I was young. At that time, it was being looked at, oh, she's young, she's fucking around, she's 15. That's what they do at that age. No, it wasn't anything of that. And I fell into a dark space, and he was in his own little world. He didn't really understand it. When they took him off punishment and they left me on punishment, that really, because that guy, Jeremy, had more of a control. All right, I got her by herself type thing. And it was just one of those things that nobody really saw it for what it was. It wasn't consensual. He knew my age. He lived with us. I know now that my cousin's ex-wife was fucking. She got the way. I don't know who called the cops. I don't know who brought it up. But all I know is she changed. She didn't speak to me as. Yeah, she changed on me. They made it seem like I was out there fucking him pretty much. In all actuality, it was the other way around. And when somebody actually believed me, it was when finally my mom, when I actually explained everything to my mom, and when they charged him or whatever. And by that time, I was going on 16 almost, and my mom, I landed in Tampa. My mom came down from New York, moved me out of Orlando, Tampa. The ones who want them to get punished were my immediate, the last thing I did was that interview that they did in the room when they asked me all the questions. That was the last involvement I ever had in the case. They told me I was going to go and take care of it from there on out because I was so young. And my mom wasn't having it. She was like, no.
Mom was so upset that happened while they were there that she just wanted to be, away.
So it's something that I put back away just when I was 15 years ago. Now that it's coming out, I want to know everything.
She was having an affair with her husband, and then Jeremy was the guy she was having the affair with. So when this all came out, they blamed because they also were dealing with the fact that was sleeping with him. Very messy, so, never really got much justice or had any much closure with this because nobody really, I don't think anybody went to step up for her because they would have been involving themselves in their own mess.
He used to spoil? I was thinking about it, money.
She was 15 years old. It's documented. She was a sophomore in high school. A kid. He was having sex with her in his car. one-on-one trips. Like, nobody should be letting a grown-ass man, you move into your house alone with your minor niece, you know?
Yo, I'm crying for help. Like, something's going on. Nobody's hearing me. So when all of this, when I was put to, oh, you fucked up my birthday, or you were still nasty little 15 seconds, that broke me. That shut me down completely. When I had moved in with them, I was just, almost a year prior to that, I was just
a little whore. They basically were saying, you little whore, you did that.
He manipulated the fuck. That's why when the conversation that's online with his mom, and there's certain things that he's saying, and I'm like, oh my God, I heard that from his mom. How is she? I don't know. I know she's still, at the time, she was a financial aid advisor. She got let go from that job because of the situation. But anyway, but yeah, so I don't know how they met, but all I know is that she already moved in when I.
You knew him from Valencia, though. You knew him from Valencia, though.
He had money lunch every day lunch, outside lunch. Like, what do you want? What do you need? Like, he would take care of her. Now that I'm older, like I said, I can make sense. You know, that's why. That's like I said. When it comes to the whole court hearing, the whole thing, I don't know anything else. I don't know what was said. Nothing. I don't know anything. All I know. The last thing that I left is when they asked me over the questions. When they arrested him, when they questioned me from my side of the story to find out what happened. The first and only time I spoke to the officers and I forgot what other things. It was my mom, the officers, and that was it. That was in the room because not even my cousins were in the room. It was just like, it was me and my mom and whoever was questioning. When they asked me my side of the story, what happened to find out. They were like, was it consensual? I said no. And I know I said no quite a few times. 30 years old, I've never had a fake ID. The first time I went into a club when I was a chicken, 18 years old, in New York, we had to ride the back of his truck, of his Jeep, and it was a Jeep Cherokee, I believe. Put it out there. As long as you know me, you have my green lights for everything. Yeah, we had a correctional officer.
He was pretending to be like a correctional officer at our house.
Khaki pants, white plain shirt, and white penis TV.
They took our clothes away, all of our clothes, took us to Walmart and bought us a uniform that we had to wear in the house and at school. Our school did not have uniforms. This was a punishment that he invented because he was like on some power trip.
I agree with it because my cousins are young. My cousins are 20.
Didn't Jeremy tell you wanted to put a flashlight in your pussy?
Yeah. Now I was like, I do remember that. There was a black one, long black one.
Yeah, like he said some really weird things. I remember you telling me things and I felt weird, and it was around my birthday when you couldn't go to the mall with me. I don't think I said anything. I don't think I was like the one who said anything. But I remember like trying to get you off punishment.
Yep, he tried his hardest.
Yeah, but he was saying for a long time, and then I started to feel weird because she started to tell me stuff like that, and like, you know, she's still young too, like. And I didn't really know what to think about it because they're like letting her really sure so I don't know. But she was saying weird stuff to me, and I was kind of like trying to get ways to like get her, you know, like back into like normal life. Like, hey, it's my birthday, like, you know. And I think we went to the mall without her. She stayed home with Jeremy. Like, it was very weird. Like, and he was,
I wasn't pushed for a whole year. So basically, I didn't have no door in the room. I had no pictures, like from the magazine, music, on my phone.
He moved into her room, and she had to share a room with me. And he would wake her up. He would wake both of us up at like 5 in the morning to work out, where we had to wear the uniform that he gave us. Like, to come back to work out, and we couldn't eat normal food. We had to eat food as if we were in jail. So, would make them dinner, would make him and Sutton dinner, and then we would have to turn around and eat bologna sandwiches because we were punished. Whenever we left the house, we would have to sit in the trunk. Like, if he was a police officer driving us around, and we were handcuffed in the back, not literally, but like we had to sit like that. And then he would open the door for us as we walked through the store. And every time we left the house, that's like we were treated all day like if we were in jail. It got to the point where we stole some of our own clothes so that we weren't embarrassed going to school, and we changed at the bus stop.
No, we changed at the building.
Yeah, because people were looking at us like, what, like?
Oh, well, we could see in the sketch, and yeah, kind of long. They chopped my hair off, and they took away everything that I loved. It got to the point that he was getting in my head, got in my head. Oh, nobody cares for you, like, you gotta do what he did. And left the open door. I was scared.
They tried to find her.
I was already in trouble. I was in trouble. Like, I was getting grounded, so I was scared. I was like,
so she's already grounded. He's afraid she's gonna say something. So he starts not waking up some days for personal training, but like starts taking her to go get coffee more. You know what I mean? And now he's being nice. Because now he's being nice. He's expecting her. Let's continue this. You're not working out so much, and now look, you get to go out. I'm taking you to lunches, to dinner. She's 15 years old, you know what I mean? She's been punished, her hair's been chopped, and now he's showing her attention after he's already taken what he wanted to take. What else is she supposed to do?
He was like, you get to look at some baby. I made a little more slim, and I was a 15 weight. I don't even know. I was weighing at what? I didn't look fat. I was just thinking. I wasn't, oh my gosh, 6 either, but I was shaped away. Just a couple pounds or whatever, like a few shoes to be together. And I remember that conversation because I was the first seeing it in FaceTime, and I forgot where it was. As a matter of fact, I think he had like a girlfriend at the time. And I don't know if it was his wife now. He did have a girlfriend, and one of the lines that he said that to me, I looked at him like, what? Like, I felt self-conscious. I was very listening. Self-esteem, I was self-conscious. I didn't break out of that until I was, until I had my 30 points. So I thought I was by myself and nobody believed me. That I was being portrayed, and I was being portrayed this way by, like I said, my cousin's ex-wife.
It makes more sense why she gave him control of, like, punishing us.
Oh, it's crazy that I used
the house. They got to be closer.
We were homeschooled. As a matter of fact, I forgot that one thing. After that tuition school, we were pulled out of the house and we were moved to homeschool. We didn't like for our credits and he left all of that.
So we both failed in school.
And I was taking care of, at that time, they had just had my little cousin. She was about almost a year. And I was, she was a few months, almost a year. And I was basically moved. I was babysitter.
I was living there and going through the punishment with her, so I was kind of the only one that was like, that would really tell everything, and I got confused for everything they were, like, she was going through, the stuff that I went through.
That was your mom. Like, they weren't so hard.
But the reason I'm on the phone is because, throughout the whole process, nobody's really had back or really wanted to believe her because of their own involvement. So I'm kind of the only person that, like, not only did I experience these things with her, so I can validate a lot of what she's saying, but I was also the only person that when she was having these one-on-one moments, or when he was saying things like, to her that she would come and talk to about, I was there when they found out that he was sleeping with her. Back then, I remember saying stuff to them. I'm not really sure. I don't think I leaked it. I'm not sure who leaked it. I remember Christmas time, they came to the house with who is her cousin, and he asked me, hey, this girl with me, I want to ask you something. So we're in the car, and he literally, all he said, we're driving the car, and he said we were going to get milk. We didn't get milk. We were stuck in the parking lot, and he said, I want to ask you something, and I need you not to lie to me. And I said, what? He said, did Jeremy have sex with had told me literally like a little while before that, that he was, while he was out with her, that he was trying to sleep with her in the car, and that he did have sex with her. And then things just got weird. So I was there when then they called the cops. Brother was like demanding that,
I don't remember that. I don't remember that. That's crazy.
Yeah, remember there. You remember Christmas? We went to Tampa. We were out, and you didn't want to come home, and I asked you to stay or whatever. And you really didn't want to come home. Mm-hmm. And I think they were worried about you, wondering why. You actually stayed in Tampa. We had left. They left you there in Tampa. And then when you remember that?
I don't remember. I knew that.
Yeah. And they were wondering why you didn't want to go back so bad. And I think you had broken while you were there, is what I thought. You had broken, and then they brought you back because they said that they would bring you back. And when they brought you back, you had cracked, and then that's when he came and he asked me to confirm it. And then they acted like they just found out. That's when was basically screaming at you in the bathroom, calling you a little whore, and, you know, you're 15, you want to throw your life away, blah, 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 and acting like it was your fault because she didn't, you know what I mean? But it caught her off guard, you know, too, which is why you became the whore, because
that was the perfect cover-up for her shit.
It connected everything because she was 19, like, well, when I met, she was 19, but she's only 5 years older than
yeah.
She was like 19, 20, you know, she's still young, you know, so then she started to look at as if, you know, you fucked my man. So it became more of a little hoe. So then when the corporate meetings happened, they didn't want much involvement in it because they're dealing with their own things that are coming out, and it was basically left like, you know, the get-go.
And it was the perfect cover for betrayal on my cousin. That's what that was, too. I was like, okay, fuck it, let's leave it alone, because I don't want the real truth to come out.
There were years where I stayed like in contact, but you know, dude, I don't know why she doesn't talk to me. I would have to like, you know, why aren't you like cool? Like she didn't do anything, and like that stuff happened to her. Like I'm confused, like why you are still in contact with me but not her, you know?
Mm-hmm. And I can tell you something right now about last year. Sometime last year, I forgot, it was at the middle of the year. The last time I saw her, as a matter of fact. Yeah, because that's what it was. I had a new house. I was dropping off her daughter because my aunt in Tampa is her daughter's grandmother. Yeah, her daughter's grandmother. So, yeah, I had gone to Tampa to go see my aunt, my cousins, and my kids. Coming back, I had to drop off her daughter at their new house. And that day, we're sitting in the back porch, and you know, we're talking regular conversation. And she goes, the one thing I do want to tell you, I am so sorry. And my head is standing, and now it fucking makes sense why she said it. She said, I am so sorry for what happened, for everything. Like, please, I hope you can really stay sincerely. I'm sorry. Forgive me.
It was weird to me, like, why they were doing things alone. Like, I was happy for her because I was like, you know, I got a punishment, like, she was still punished.
I didn't even joke around about some stupid shit like that. At that age, that's really...
It was, like, weird, like, why they were, like, going out one-on-one. But I'm like, you know what? She gets to go out, whatever. But she, towards around when things started to come out and things were, like, bothering her, you know, she would tell me, like, the stuff that she never got, like, at first she didn't tell me, like, what was going on, but she was like, oh, yeah, he was, like, this flashlight, he's sick, he wants to put it in my pussy, like, and I was just like, that's weird. She would, like, kind of, like, laugh it off, but, like, I'm telling you stuff, but, like, I'm not really, you know, I'm not, like, telling you, but I'm, like, then eventually she told me what was going on, and it was, like, I know, she, like, her to cry for help, but I couldn't really say. She really didn't she didn't really know what to do. I don't think she knew what, like, she didn't know what she wanted to do. She didn't want to get me involved, but she wanted to, like, say something to somebody. It was, like, it was kind of very messy and very, like, not talked about, and she was still being punished, so I didn't really, like, hang out with her that much, like, and we were in the same house, so, like, she was busy. She, like, literally would, like, have to cook. Even, like, if I was sitting in my room listening to music, she wasn't allowed to even come in my room and hang out with me. Like, she was not allowed. So, like, yeah, but she would start telling me stuff like that, like, and, yeah, it was, like, very strange. I didn't even know what to do with it either, you know what I mean? Like, she lived in our house. What is that? She was the babysitter, so, like, they would go to work cooking, she's cleaning. Mind you, she's cooking that she's not allowed to eat. She's cooking food she's not allowed to eat. She's watching a child that she didn't have responsible for taking care of. And he is, who's a 1-year-old baby at the time, 1 or 2-year-old baby. You know, and he's moved into her room, like,
I mean, what the fuck? I was with my mom.
You know what I mean? And he's her supervisor. He's watching both of us. She got her everything back after I got off punishment, like, so that she can be separated by herself. So it's like she's, at the time, like, her hair is cut, she's wearing this uniform that she doesn't need to be wearing, like, it's out of specific, pleasure. She, like, has to stay in her room now because I'm on punishment, so she isolated more. There's somebody else who's, like, now her guardian. Like, who is she really going to, like, talk to? The people that she's supposed to be talking to, she's cooking food for them, and they're enjoying her punishment, like, and this is her friend that they've moved in. This is the person that you've chosen to be my personal trainer, my corrections officer in my house.
It's
like,
really new.
And now he's being nicer to me than you are. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, he's starting an emotional relationship with her now, after he's, like, broken her and isolated her. Now he's starting an emotional relationship with her, and she's like, shit, I gotta be happy somewhere in all of this, too. Like,
let me just do everything. He what he wants, and what he wants. I don't know, but it was just,
And she snapped, and she said something to, like, people who actually were going to do something for her, and then, they came in and, but even after that, I think you still lived there, because we were in, right, you still have to live there for a while until your mom got you out, because that's when you guys moved to Haines City.
At that time, I went to Tampa for, I went to Tampa for like a week. And then I came back,
there too.
and I wasn't supposed. Yeah, exactly. I was still punished when they got the house, when they bought the house in the city.
That's what I'm saying. He did contact you. Wait, he did contact you at some point because he called you a liar and said that you were a fucking liar. And the
what after that? It was after Christmas. It wasn't when he got arrested. He got arrested. After that day, I never saw him again until a couple months on TV. It was me turning on the morning news like always. She did 18, and it came up. Terrorists who fight with state impersonating an officer for the fourth time. I was shocked because I thought I would never come across him again.
Right.
But he was a small world. It was a very small world, and even though it wasn't in person, that shit felt so close in person. It makes the feeling on the sea like. The past couple of years, after when I was 18, I think when I was 18, when I got 12, I was in New York. I was thankful to my mom relationship-wise. It was then that I actually was 18 when I actually, 17, 18 when I actually stepped out and expressed to her that she had no idea. She didn't really know the detail and depth of how it was until I stepped out and I spoke to her about it. And then when this came about, she was like, what? What was this?
She was in New York. Well, she was in New York. She was in New York at the time when this came out. And custody of. And so they really didn't pass on anything. This is how this all comes to ties with everything. Because he was an authority figure or somebody like that's been, a supervisor, a correctional, whatever before. We able to do this in the house under this guy to be this, CO, whatever that he does, and this is how he ends up using that power. The police would take advantage of her, and then ruin her life. She is pulled out of school. Like, she has to, all of this really affected her childhood and where she's at now in life. I never thought that she would have somebody reach out and actually really care and be in a position to possibly do something for her, because this is something that really hurt her and it ruined her life. But what do you do after that? You know what I mean? She picked up the pieces on her own and she's pushed through with life. For you to be reaching out to her with this, that I know that this is affecting her so much. You know what I mean? She's tough. She's a mom now and she's moved on. This is amazing. This is completely amazing.
I was like, damn, should I say something? But the fact that it felt so sincere, and it felt like, okay, you know what? Nobody, it's 15 years, nobody has ever come at me about this. And for me to see what I said in the news, and then a couple months later, I barely go. And when you said what you said, and you were like, if nobody knows about you or what happened with you, I was like, oh shoot. So I was debating on it for a long time, and with everything I got going on right now recently, and I'm really trying to see the whole other side, like face-wise, like, and then like, oh, this is it. This is the time. This is when, yeah, there you go. So I made sure I called, like I said, the only other person that was there that been through it, that was there, and that will fully understand, you know. Some of the stuff that he didn't realize, when I was talking to the called it made sense to him. He's like, oh my God, it makes so much more sense now. Yeah, you see, it was very, I mean, not even more seeing that the fact that he didn't file the sex offender. Like, hell no, I got girls, I got kids, I got 2 girls. I'll be damned. So clarity is big. I feel so much better, like, chapter 5, like, I don't have to bring it back up ever again. I don't have to feel like nobody ever believes it. Like, it's there, out there, it's done. Put it out there, make sure you cover names. Everything else, go ahead. Word for word, I don't care. Like, it needs to be put out there. Awareness, yes, this is, hello, let's be aware. We're just straight from the horse's mouth, from both of them. And basically just to put it out there for, like I said, awareness, where like people like, hey, you know, it sounds weird, like you can sit back and be like, oh, look at that person. You know, what they're doing for other people, whatever. Like, now I'm like, oh shit, look, I think I should do something.
I'm really glad you called, and I'm glad that you wrote back. All right, till next time.
Thank you so much. Until next time.
Sounds good. All right, see you guys.
I hope you heard the words that were spoken and just how much DeWitte did to this person and others. I so wish a harsher sentence would have been imposed on him. This victim is still suffering from him, and although he is where he should be now, it's a shame he wasn't there since this incident happened. I hope the victim finds at least some comfort in knowing he is finally being held accountable for failing to register for what he did to her. Video overlay on this video come from myself, Metro State, Real World Police, PoliceTube, and DeWitte. Hope you enjoyed hearing why he deserves to be right where he is. Thanks for watching.